Alright guys, today we're in Houston, Texas, and we had a checkout of 4 houses all the same day. One person, they booked the entire complex here in Houston with the 65-foot pools, and they are all checked out today. So we're just gonna pop over to the house and see how they left the house and the condition they left it. And also, there's some maintenance that needs to be done for the houses. We had some heat problems, AC problems, refrigerator problems, garage problems. It's a lot of issues, minor issues, some major, but the technicians should be already at the property, and we're gonna check in with them as well to see what they can fix. So we're here in one of the units, and it doesn't look to be in bad shape, but the guest did, as usual, move a bunch of stuff around. This dining room table right here is actually supposed to be on that side, and that couch is supposed to be right where the dining room table is, and they're supposed to face each other. So you can have about 4 to 6 people on the couches and another 8 people on the dining room table, but I guess they wanted to be able to really center themselves, possibly with the TV in the background. We have a nice 70-inch TV, but either way, the cleaners are working on one of the other units, and they'll be over here once they're finished with that, and they'll be rearranging this furniture back to how it's supposed to do. So we're here at the houses, and we have all the cleaners here, and as you can see behind me, all the cars from all the different cleaners. It's about 5 in total, and because it's a entire complex being cleaned, we need all hands on deck. So since we have the opportunity, because there are no guests checking out after this, I told the cleaners, hey, let's do a deep clean on all of these properties and let's get it done. You guys can take your time, because normally at 4 p.m. is a checkout. That since there's no one coming in, you guys can take as long as you need to clean all of the properties thoroughly and get it looking really nice for when the next set of guests come in later this week. So we also met with the technicians for the air conditionings for 2 out of the 4 units, and they were able to finish everything pretty quickly, and everything's working fine now, which brings me to my point of rental arbitrage versus owning your own property. Now, when you own your own property, as soon as things go wrong, you can get on the phone directly and start calling technicians that you might know, or even just going down Google Maps and looking at people in your area to get someone out immediately. When you're doing rental arbitrage, you have to talk to the landlord, unless you already had it in the contract where you are allowed to hire your own technicians, and then you guys work out a deal to either take it out of your rent or the invoice goes directly to the landlord. Most landlords will say that they're gonna have it covered and they'll do all the contacting of the technicians themselves, because a lot of landlords actually do have their preferred technicians. So in this case, our landlord had the preferred technician. Unfortunately, that technician wasn't able to come to the property. So when the landlord started calling other technicians, they had no idea how to service their air conditioned units, which took time. And every day that it takes for something to get resolved costs us money. So now that it's been a few days, we're going to have a conversation with the landlord and say, listen, we had heat problems for 2 units out of these 4. Now we're going to have to talk about rent concessions. And the landlord in the past has been really good about that, because he understands that we are running a business here. And if we have a business here that's not making money, we cannot pay the landlord money. And it's really good to have a working relationship with landlords if you decide to do the rental arbitrage route. The ownership route, it's 100% on you. And that could be a good thing, because now you have that control. You're the one in charge. You make those calls and you get technicians out here. The difference with that is your mortgage stays the same. You don't get mortgage concessions. They don't care that you had a broken AC and your guest filed a complaint and you had to refund them. The mortgage companies want their money every month. So that's something to think about if you decided to do rental arbitrage versus owning your own house. There are a lot of differences out there, and you might not even have known about this difference, but it's something to definitely take note of and to consider when starting your Airbnb.